Welcome to Ready for the Weekend episode 3. I'm Liam. This is a show where myself and Kev go through 5 of our must-see events this weekend in sport. Coming up this weekend we have a boxing double-header. We have action from the Premier League and the French League, as well as some ice hockey. We hope you enjoy. Okay, so we have Derek Chisora against Joseph Parker. They are headlining this weekend's Sky Boxing card. You got Chisora, probably more well known to fans across Europe. He's 37 now, he's been around basically forever. He's coming off a loss to Usyk last October. Meanwhile, you've got Joseph Parker, 29-year-old. His only losses are to AJ and to Dylan White. He's on a 4-fight win streak, but to be honest, I have never heard of any of the guys in that 4-fight win streak. Interestingly enough, these guys were supposed to fight each other in 2019, only for Parker to withdraw due to an apparent spider bite. So, these guys have had a training camp preparing for each other before, so they're going to be well aware of each other. Honestly, I think for this one, I'm leaning Joseph Parker. He's one they've sort of been building this 4-fight win streak around sort of lesser names, and I think this is sort of to give him a win against a more highly regarded opponent, with the idea of him then maybe stepping up and fighting one of that sort of upper echelon of the heavyweight division, maybe like an Andy Ruiz or one of the losers of the big three, depending on whenever the fights line up. So yeah, for this one I'm thinking Joseph Parker, and I think he's probably going to win by decision.
In the boxing over the weekend we have Chisora and Joseph Parker going head to head. These players are vastly different, not only from their stats or their age, but their fighting techniques. It'd be definitely hard to call of who's going to win that fight. Looking at Chisora, his reach could make a massive advantage for him. We don't want to be in the receiving end of his punches either. But I feel like Joseph Parker might be a little slight advantage as he's in a win streak, and I still think he would actually win the fight. Maybe not from a knockout, but definitely I think over knockout decision, I think he might actually win the fight. But again, very close to call.
Okay, so we're in Ireland. We couldn't not cover this one. We've got the co-main event of that card. We have Katie Taylor against Natasha Jonas, and this one is for a whole lot of belts. Katie Taylor, the undisputed lightweight title holder. I mean, I think it's like 5, maybe 6 belts she's holding right now. Perfect 17-0 record, 6 finishes. Natasha Jonas, she is coming off a draw, a weight class below where she fought for the belts. So, I mean, this one arguably makes sense. If that fight was close, I can't honestly tell you. I mean, I never saw it. But, I mean, I've got to be leaning Katie Taylor here. She is the undisputed title holder, and Jonas couldn't claim the belt a weight class below. Just logically, I don't think if she couldn't do it a weight class below, I don't see her stepping up and making that, getting a win against Taylor another step ahead of where she previously was fighting. Interestingly, again, in 2012, these faced off in the Olympic quarterfinals, and Taylor beat her there. So yeah, Katie Taylor, and she hasn't exactly been putting people away. So again, I'm leaning decision here.
Next fight card, we have Kate Taylor and Natasha Jonas. Two have previous fought head-to-head in the Olympics 2012. Looking at the highlights from that Olympics match and their fights now is completely different when they turn professionalism. Looking at how they're so much calmer, and the fact that their punches have become very, very much stronger. So it shows how much difference between the two sides. I might be a little bit more biased and go for Kay Taylor. Well, hopefully she ends her career being undisputed. Now, hopefully her age won't catch up with her. But looking at Natasha Jonas, she's been very impressive the last couple of fights. So she might create an upset, but I still go for Kay Taylor. Maybe not for a knockout, but I think she would actually win the fight.
So, for the first time in absolutely ages, the French League is actually interesting. You've got 4 teams vying for the title and the 2 automatic Champions League spots, all to play for in the run-in. So we've gone with Monaco Vs Lyon as one of our games for this weekend. Both teams quite attacking, averaging over 2 goals a game or thereabouts. You've got Wissam Ben Yedder and Memphis Depay both tied on 18 league goals. But yeah, who'd have thought it? The French league actually has some drama running into the end of the season. They actually played each other last week. Monaco beat them 2-0. And then in the league, they lost 4-1 to Lyon in October. Even more interestingly is that Lyon have had a player sent off in both games against Monaco this season. Of course, Monaco are without two of their key players. Golovin and Gelson Martins are both out through illness because of, the big C that's going around right now. Plenty of drama on hold here. Both teams desperate for a win to try and nail down those Champions League spots for next season. I think I'm going to lean Monaco here. I mean, they got the win off them last week in the quarterfinal of the French Cup. Even though they were very much second best, with a 51st minute red card really swinging the game in their favour, I just think that with that confidence boost that game would have given them, that they're probably going to take it here. I'm going to say 2-1.
In League One, we have Monaco and Lyon going head to head for the Champions League spot, and we have going for the League One title. From looking at this league and Serie A and Liga, these leagues are very competitive this season compared to the Premier League, who we just know who's going to win the title and probably know who's going to grab top 4 spots. But especially with League One, it is vastly different compared to the last couple of years, where we just had PSG just winning constantly, and we finally have not but 2 or 3 but 4 teams going up for grabs, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Unfortunately for Lyon, had a disheartening loss against Lille, 2-0 up, and lost 3-2 at the very end. So it's going to be very unfortunate for them, but I think they might come up again. Unfortunately, their next game, of course, is against Monaco, who are sitting in 3rd position, with only 2 points behind leaders. I would still give Lyon the advantage, knowing that they'll be feeling a bit bitter, and I think they might come more stronger. I would be very hard to tell what score because these teams are so close. I'm going to give them a wild guess and say 2-0. Hopefully the pay would actually score both, even extra bonus point there. But I still think that Lyon might get the win with this match and might create an upset for poor Monaco.
So, ice hockey teams play each other a lot. Didn't know that really until recording this, but yeah, we're covering the Maple Leafs against the Canucks. They have a doubleheader Friday and Sunday. We're going to take the second game for the Sunday because, weekend. But yeah, the Canucks have beaten them twice this month already, 3-2 and 6-3, and they've beaten them twice in March, 3-1 and 4-2. I mean, you'd think that would probably be enough to sort of go, hey, hang on, 4 times in a season, that's enough. But no. They played each other 3 games in a row in February, with the Maple Leafs winning all 3. So it's 4-3 in favour of Vancouver. And they've got to play each other twice more because why not? Toronto, top of the North Division, which is basically the all-Canadian division of the NHL at the moment. Canucks are second last, but have played at least 5 games less than anybody else in that division, so who knows how that will end up if they can shoot up the table with at least 5 games in hand over everybody. But yeah, I think I'm going to lean in favour of Vancouver in this one. They've beaten Toronto 4 times this season, but who knows at this point. Yeah, sure, I'll go a 4-2 win for Vancouver.
We have Toronto and Vancouver going head to head on Friday and Saturday. Looking at the stats from their couple of weeks, they've been evenly matched with the same amount of wins and losses against each other. I would still give Vancouver, looking at professional analysis, they have saying that Vancouver, despite being bottom of the table, they at least have less games played, so that of course will be vastly different. They said that, going by their word, that Vancouver actually might come with a win. I don't know what score is going to be like, so I'm just going to say just a win. We'll see how it goes from there. But I'm going to be watching the highlights. I might not be staying up late to watch it, but definitely watching the highlights and see these 2 teams going head to head for 2 days coming up. So it's going to be very interesting.
So, yeah, we just thought we may as well chuck the Man United Liverpool game in here. It was a last minute addition because we actually messed up thinking that the Yoel Romero Anthony Robles Johnson fight was going to be this weekend because I was seeing nothing but previews for it. It turns out it was the press conference, not the actual fight itself. Yeah, error on my part, so we just lumped in the Man United Liverpool game in this because it's happening and we couldn't think of anything else of any level of interest to lob in instead. United coming off their big win against Roma on Thursday night, big confidence boost for them. Left very little for themselves to do in the second leg, so yeah, big win. But on the other hand, they did play most of their first team in that game, so maybe some tiredness in the legs there. They've played each other twice this season already, a 0-0 draw in the league and a 3-2 win for United in the FA Cup. So at least both games have been close there. Liverpool not in fantastic form, majorly underachieving this season through outbreaks and injuries and just a general lack of form. Coming off back-to-back draws in the league and haven't had a midweek game, so they're probably coming in a touch fresher than United. They're desperate for a win in this one, but I honestly don't trust their back line. I think there could be plenty of goals in this. I'm going to lean a 2-2 draw.
Next, we have the Premier League. We have two teams, Manchester United and Liverpool, going head to head over the weekend. These teams have very little to play for. Liverpool just fighting to go into the top four spot, and Manchester United stay safe in the Champions League stage and may not catch up to Man City, unfortunately. So it's coming more like a derby match more than anything else, and they want to end the season in a high. Manchester United have been playing absolutely fantastic over the couple of weeks, especially against the Europa League against Roma. Playing outstanding football. I still think they're going to keep up their form, and unfortunately to lose the title to Man City this season, I still think they had a fantastic season compared to other seasons they had beforehand. I think they'll end that in a high, and so I'll give them a 2-0 win for them. I think Fernandes will probably score a penalty. So I'm going to say 2-0 for Manchester United. Liverpool have been very, very poor the last couple of games, definitely this season. And it seems like no sign of actually coming back. Well, now they could come back with a win, but we'll see. I'll be more inclined to go for Manchester United.
From myself and Kev, thanks for watching Ready for the Weekend episode 3. He's got the lead right now after mine was a total train wreck last week, barring the Usman pick, which thankfully went my way, because otherwise I'd be a distance behind after just 2 episodes. Tune in next week to see how this week's predictions went. Leave a comment below and see what you have to say and whether you're going to do better than us. It really wouldn't be that difficult. But until then, see you next time.